Welcome back. In this session, we are going to look at creating external tables for Parquet files. As you know, we have a copy of the New York taxi trip data in Parquet format as well. So I'll use that to demonstrate this session. Let's switch over to the Synapse Studio and get started. Here we are in the Synapse Studio. Let's start with looking at the data and remind ourselves how the data looked. And I'm going to the Data Hub, and then let's click on Link, and then we navigate to our container. And as you can see, we've got the trip data in 3 different formats, but the Parquet is the one we want to focus here. And as you may remember, we've got the data partitioned into subfolders. So we got the year and the month partitions. So that is one thing you want to take away from here, because when you come to create the external table, you'll have to specify /*. So that Synapse will look at the subfolders rather than just the main folder for the files. So the other thing you want to take away from here is that the Parquet files here are compressed using snappy compression. So when you come to create the external file format for this, you'll have to specify that the files are compressed using snappy compression. So those are the 2 key bits of information. So let's now go to our script and start creating the external file format. So I'm going to open up the external file format script and I'm going to start typing. Let's quickly go over to the documentation and get the template for creating a file format. So as you can see here, the Parquet file format is specified here. So I'm going to simply copy that and put it into our script and make the corresponding changes. So I'm going to call this file format as Parquet file format. And as we said before, we got the format type as Parquet, but we need to specify the compression. Let me first remove all these code. So we know in this case, the compression we want to specify is snappy. So that's what we're going to do. So that's everything we need to specify. Change this delimited text to Parquet. And that should be everything. So if I just execute it, that should create the Parquet, a file format for us. Now publish this. So let's go over to the database and just quickly make sure that that's been created that would be on that external file format. And let me just quickly refresh that. And as you can see, we've got all the formats and the file formats that as well. So the file formats are now created and we need to create the external table. So let's go over to the scripts and open up the bronze table script, and I'm going to simply copy what we already have here for the CSV format and then make the corresponding changes. It's as simple as that. And let's start with changing the table name. So we want to call this one Parquet rather than CSV. And I'm going to make that change all the way through. And the only other change we like to make is to use the file format that we just created, which is the Parquet file format. So I put that as well. So let's run this through. And that should query the data from the Parquet file and give us the results. So let's do that. So that's brilliant. So the external table is now created and we have seen the data as well, and the data looks as expected. Let's go over to the Data Hub and see the tables as well. So if I just do a refresh, we should see all the tables, and we've got the data in both CSV and Parquet format as well. So it's quite nice. So if somebody wants to just query the table, they could just come here and then just right-click and then get the select statement and execute that as well. So that's going to give the top 100 records. So I'd say it's very easy to use when you created an external table. So that's the end of this session, and I see you in the next one. But before closing, make sure that you publish it.